Hello, it's your girl Michelle Hope Walker. Welcome to Michelle Hope Walker Speaks. Okay, you all know I'm always on the go because I'm a comedian, speaker, evangelist, so always doing something and going somewhere. But I actually got a chance to I was just flipping through the channels yesterday, and I happened to see and say, what was just so. Today is January 13th. Well, now it's late at night, so it's the 14th. So then I'm talking about January 12th. Monday, January 12th. I happen to be flipping through the channels and seeing the Celebrity Apprentice, right? So, yeah, the Celebrity Apprentice. I'm looking at my phones that has the details on it that I'm going to be talking about, but and it was interesting. I don't, like I said, I don't watch a lot of TV because I'm usually out, myself performing, or, networking or doing something, or working, or because I work in TV studios too. So I'm not always at home, watching, and I just don't watch that much TV overall anyway. But sometimes when I'm at home, I flip through the channels and I'll see certain things. And so again, I caught the Celebrity Apprentice. Now, the key thing that I want to mention about Celebrity Apprentice is I want to tell Donald Trump, thank you. I appreciate what he did. This episode that I was watching, which aired Monday, January 12, 2015. So, you can Google it or look it up. But the thing was, and I didn't even see the beginning. I just sort of came in, I don't know if it was in the middle, and then I didn't end up watching the whole thing. But the part that I did see was the part where it seemed like, who was it, Brandy, was trying to get Kenya. Was Kenya? Let's see, that's why I got this out so I could get her by name right. Kenya Moore was trying to get Kenya Moore fired. And Kenya Moore, I did see where it says she was from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And Brandy Glanville is from the Real Housewives, I think LA. But Donald Trump was able to see right through all of that. And I really like that, because it was a couple of things that really stands out in my mind. And one thing I want to put out there. Well, okay. A couple of things that stand in my mind. One, when they all were getting in a group, it was Kenya, Brandy, Lisa, Kate, Jamie Anderson, Sean Johnson, Vivica A. Fox. When they were getting in their group, the two, and they had to come up with this concept of doing a layout, basically. And it was like going to be like a model feature in a sense, So Kenya did, was just surprised that they didn't, recruit her services, considering, she said she felt she had a great body and they didn't use her body. But she just still went on. You have to see the episode, but she just still went on. She didn't let it get to her. And I noticed a lot of times when Kenya said something, eyes rolled and this and that, and I was like, oh, why did it be so ugly, with Kenya? That's not right. You know me, I'm always a, fighter for the underdog. I don't like to see anybody mistreated. So Kenya, though, she was excellent. She kept on going, helping with wherever, the lead. She spoke up and let them know on certain things that she felt like that needed to be changed or whatever, and she was truly a team player. Now, Brandy kept saying little different things about, Kenya. But Kenya was able just to keep moving regardless of what, Brandy was saying or whatever the case might be. And so at the end of the night, the women, they didn't win. And so, who was it? Jamie Anderson had to pick, I guess, two, and between the two, which one of them would be fired or something of the sort like that. So the key thing was that Jamie picked Kate Gosselin and Kenya Moore. And so then when Kenya Moore and Kate Gosselin and Jamie Anderson went in the room, Kenya's like, well, why would you pick me? I've been working, and also, in this room too, before they split off into that, and Brandy kept trying to, say that Kenya was the bad one and should be fired. I really appreciate how a lot of other people, spoke up and did say that Brandy had been talking bad about Kenya. So I give that to Jamie Anderson. She did, mention at that time, but for that reason, she still picked Kenya Moore and Kate Gosselin. So then when they go back in the room, just those three, it was just interesting because then Jamie Anderson changes her mind for like she thinks she should have picked Kenya. But I love Donald Trump at the point, I know it's taking a minute to get to this, but the key point is how Donald Trump, he was able to cut right to the chase. He was able to see that the reason Jamie Anderson picked Kenya and Donald Trump's daughter was real good at that too, on picking Kenya is because it was easier to pick her than to pick Brandy. I guess she felt like it was easier for Kenya to get fired than for her to pick Brandy and, Brandy get fired, whatever the case might be. But then once she went back in the room, she was like, oh, well, maybe I should have did Brandy. And then I love Kate because Kate Gosselin, she spoke up, So the bigger piece in my mind that really came to pass through all of this was, I want to say, the black girl theory, where at times, sometimes, that stereotype, black girl stereotype, I say that, of the black girl is always the one that's causing drama, the black girl is always the one, being negative, other races can say whatever they want to, but then as soon as the black girl opens up her mouth, oh my gosh, she's wrong, why does she do that, type thing. But people don't always, or they talk about even the mad black woman. But no one really goes into what people did to make the black woman mad. They just talk about she's mad. It's like, well, nobody just gets mad for no reason, type thing. So I really like how Donald Trump didn't fall into that, because we all seen how, the other girls were saying stuff to Kenya, but Kenya wasn't, she stayed focused and stayed, on it. And Kenya mentioned that, at the end of the day, because then Jamie Anderson was the one that ended up getting fired because of her indecisiveness. And, I was proud of Donald Trump that he's seen right through that, because even he was like, why would you pick Kenya? Evidently Kenya worked and did, why would you, and so I just think that's good because so many times, I'm an African-American female, so many times us black girls, we get blamed for everything. I mean, other races can be doing everything on a job. But they be watching us more than watching anybody else. So while they watching us, other folks stealing stuff, doing all kind of crazy stuff. And we didn't do, or either you have people that are constantly like talking bad about you, next stuff. But if you say a word back, or address the situation, then you're looked at as the aggressor when actually it's them that is the aggressor, And like I said, I love Kate Gosselin because Kate Gosselin reminds me of one of those ride or die white chicks. I love that, ride or die white chicks that they don't care. Kate Gosselin was like, I'm telling the truth. No, they were messing with Kenya, and Kenya did do a good job. And then I like how Kate stood up for herself. Kate was like, no, basically, I don't mind what task that you give me to do. So I'm just open to doing, whatever, needs to be done. So it's not like I'm not doing nothing. I am. I'm just doing what they asked me to do. And I like that. I really like how Kate has, from what I've seen, was standing up for herself and then willing to step out and stand up for Kenya. And then I like how Kenya handled herself. She didn't go back off on nobody because Lord knows us black girls, we better not go off, because we go back off, then again, it all comes back around to like we're the aggressor or we're the bad ones when in reality, they had been picking with us or bullying us, and we only responded back to that bullying, So I really like how Kenya handled it. So, but I like how Donald Trump seen through that. I like that. I like that he didn't fall for that trick as Brandy kept trying to blame Kenya for everything, blame Kenya, when Brandy was sitting there doing all kind of bad mouthing of Kenya, you know, the whole time. And I appreciate those that stood up, you know, for Kenya. It's like, well, yeah, we did hear Brandy say this and Brandy say that, you know. So that's an example, I think, to all, you know, because you don't have to say it's African American females and you know, some black, whichever one you consider yourself to be, but it is challenging at times, you know, because so many times, for whatever reason, the stereotype is that we're the aggressors, and that's not always true. We are not always the aggressors, no more than any other culture is the aggressor. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you always got to look at an incident before you just jump right in and just figure, oh, the black girl must have said something wrong, you know, or the black girl must have did it. No. You know, so I like how Donald Trump took the time to listen and really seek through and see what was really going on. You know, so I like that, you know, from that point, because I'm watching this TV, I turned, but that little area right there, I did see. So Donald Trump, I just wanted to say thank you, you know, that you didn't fall for that, oh, it's the black girl, you know, because again, other races, they'll be doing little stuff maybe to pick with the black girl, and everything, because really I think a lot of us just jealous of Kenya. Kenya is a beautiful woman. Kenya Moore, you're a beautiful woman, and you're smart, and you're intelligent, and you're not afraid to express yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? And so when you have a black woman that is beautiful and not afraid to stand up for herself and express herself very intelligently and respectfully, you know, she shouldn't get, blamed or lied on for stuff that she didn't even do, or whatever the case may be. But it happens so many times on jobs. Oh my gosh, on jobs. When you're working around other races, it just amazes me on how these other people can be doing all, and I'm just going to keep it real, especially if it's white women, they can be doing all kind of stuff. Nobody is looking at them. Nobody, concerned, you know, you the main one doing what you're supposed to be doing, and then you the main one that as soon as something go wrong, they looking at you, and you're like, I ain't do nothing. I have not did anything, you know. So it's amazing. So I really like how Donald Trump just cut right through that, because of negative stereotypes, a lot of times it doesn't always work like that. The black African-American female usually gets fired or gets in trouble, although she was not the aggressor. It was actually the other races that were the aggressor, but because of her color, and let's just keep it real, because of her color and because of stereotypes, you know, a race or culture just come in and assume it must be the black girl that said something or was doing something, you know. And even a lot of times with the kids, I always watch this sometime in the schools, you know, a lot of times they would come, and if it was black girls that were involved in an incident, they just automatically a lot of times would blame the black girl before they even really investigate to see what's what, you know, maybe because the way she was expressing herself. But it's like, okay, she's just trying to tell you what is happening, you know. And just because she's expressing herself differently from how you think she should express herself does not mean that she's the one that did the wrong. So, we still got a lot of work to do. But Donald Trump, I thank you for that. I really like that, because I think Brandy just felt like she was going to be able to just blame Kenya and get away with it. Now, don't get me wrong. I know for some of you, like, I know for some of you, you're like, you know, girl, this stuff is scripted. Don't even really get that caught up in it. But scripted or not scripted or whatever, I like that example that y'all put out there. That is not always a black girl doing wrong. And I thank you that you had some people standing up. And like I said, I love Kate Gosselin. That's that ride or die white chick that don't care. She going to stand up for the truth no matter what race. Thank you, Kate. I'm really seeing a whole nother side of you, Kate Gosselin. I really like it. I like it. A strong side, you know. It almost seemed like Kate, like, look, I done been through stuff. I ain't got time for this, you know. She just keep it real. So good job, Donald Trump. Thank you for keeping it real. You know, again, regardless of what race is treating what race wrong, but just because of the stereotypes, I know how a lot of times at workplaces, how that scenario usually goes, which usually they believe the white girl and the black girl is usually fired, you know, and no one stands up for the black girl. Everyone just, you know, all of a sudden becomes best friends against the black girl. Even if they don't even like each other, they become best friends to get rid of the black girl. And so thank you, Donald Trump, for saying right through that. I'm your girl, Michelle Hope Walker. You can tweet me at Hope_Speaks. You can call me 323-338-6580. You can Google search me, Michelle Hope Walker Speaks. Be blessed.